The underestimated engineers. The enormous central chamber of the Galactic Alliance headquarters hummed with the conversations of 100 different species. Light from the twin stars of Arcturus Prime filtered through the crystalline dome overhead, casting rainbow patterns across the polished stone floor. Commander Elena Reyes of Earth stood at attention, her back straight and her expression neutral despite having maintained the position for over 3 hours now. At her side stood her senior officers, equally stoic in their simple navy blue uniforms that stood out starkly among the ornate, shimmering attire of the established spacefaring races. "And now," announced Grand Speaker Thelen, a tall being with iridescent skin that shifted colors with each movement, "we welcome the representatives of Earth, our newest members, to present their contribution to our unified defense fleet." Murmur rippled through the assembly. Earth had only joined the Galactic Alliance 2 months ago, after humans had accidentally discovered faster-than-light travel while experimenting with quantum entanglement applications. Most Alliance members viewed humans as primitive upstarts who had stumbled onto the galactic stage centuries before they were ready. Reyes stepped forward, her boots clicking against the stone as she approached the central platform. Behind her, a massive holographic display activated, showing an image that caused several alien delegates to exchange glances. "I present the Earth Defense Vessel Phoenix designation EV-117, Reyes announced, her voice clear and confident despite the growing murmurs. The ship displayed looked nothing like the sleek, elegant vessels that made up the Alliance fleet. Its hull appeared to be assembled from mismatched metals and repurposed components. One section was clearly built from an old space station module. Another portion incorporated what looked like modified satellite arrays. The engine seemed to be of 3 different design philosophies grafted together in defiance of conventional engineering principles. Silence filled the chamber for several heartbeats before being broken by a deep, rumbling laugh. High Admiral Zorth, of the Galactic Defense Force, pushed through the crowd, his massive frame towering over Reyes. His scaled skin glimmered with bioluminescent patterns that signaled amusement to anyone familiar with Varaxian expressions. His uniform was adorned with medals and commendations earned over 4 centuries of military service. Is this some form of human humor? Zorth's translator struggled to convey the derisive tone in his native growl. "You bring a junkyard collection before the Galactic Alliance and call it a warship?" Reyes held her ground, her expression unchanged. "The Phoenix may not look impressive by Alliance standards, Admiral, but she's fast, adaptable, and more capable than appearances suggest." "Adaptable?" Zorth laughed again, louder this time. Other delegates joined in. "It looks like it would disintegrate at the first attempt to reach light speed." Lieutenant Commander Hiroshi Takeda, Phoenix's chief engineer, stepped forward slightly, but stopped when Reyes gave an almost imperceptible shake of her head. "Appearances can be deceiving, Admiral," Reyes replied coolly. Zorth loomed closer. "Let me be perfectly clear, human. The Galactic Alliance has standards. That pile of scrap you call a vessel would be a liability in any actual confrontation. It might be adequate for patrolling your underdeveloped solar system, but out here?" He gestured toward the stars. "It's worse than useless." The chamber had grown quiet, the assembled delegates watching the exchange with varying degrees of interest and embarrassment. "Perhaps," Reyes suggested, "you'd allow us the opportunity to demonstrate the Phoenix's capabilities." A predatory smile spread across Zorth's face, revealing rows of pointed teeth. "As it happens, the Alliance is conducting defensive exercises next month to test our readiness against potential threats. Originally, we weren't going to invite Earth to participate, as you clearly have nothing to contribute." He gestured dismissively toward the hologram where the Phoenix still hovered awkwardly. "But I'm feeling generous today. Bring your ship. It will make an excellent target for our weapons crews." Laughter erupted again throughout the chamber, echoing from the crystal dome. Reyes felt heat rising in her face but maintained her composed expression. "We accept your invitation, Admiral." Zorth's smile faltered slightly. He had expected her to withdraw from the challenge. "Very well, Commander, but don't say I didn't warn you when your crew is limping home in escape pods." After the ceremony concluded, Reyes met with her senior staff in a small chamber provided for the Earth delegation. The mood was somber. "They laughed at us," said Lieutenant Sofia Rodriguez, the Phoenix's pilot. At 29, she was the youngest senior officer, with quick eyes that never seemed to stop analyzing her surroundings. Before joining Earth's space program, she had been an undefeated champion in virtual reality combat simulations. "Let them laugh," Reyes replied. "It won't matter when they see what we can do." Takeda ran a hand through his graying hair. "The Phoenix isn't ready for combat exercises, Elena. We're still testing the integrated system architecture, and the adaptive hull configuration is only at 60% efficiency." "Then we'll make her ready," Reyes said firmly. "We have 1 month." Dr. Marcus Chen, the science officer, adjusted his glasses nervously. "With all due respect, Commander, Admiral Zorth wasn't entirely wrong. Our ship is built from repurposed technology, some of it decades old. The Alliance vessels are purpose-built with technology centuries beyond ours." Reyes moved to the window overlooking the spaceport where ships from dozens of worlds sat in neat formations. Among them, looking distinctly out of place, was the Phoenix. In the fading light of the setting stars, its patchwork construction was even more evident. "Do you know why I named her the Phoenix?" Reyes asked quietly. When no one answered, she continued. "Because throughout human history we've excelled at rising from the ashes, at taking what others discard and creating something new, something unexpected." She turned back to her team. "The Alliance sees us as primitive newcomers who got lucky, with faster-than-light travel. They're right that we're behind in technology, but they're wrong about our capabilities." Takeda nodded slowly. "The modifications I've been developing, they're unconventional, but they might give us an edge. My simulation results suggest we can execute maneuvers their targeting systems won't anticipate," Rodriguez added, a spark of excitement entering her voice. "And I've been analyzing their tactical patterns," Chen said. "They follow protocols that haven't changed in centuries." Reyes smiled. This was why she had selected this crew. "That's exactly what I wanted to hear. The Alliance races have been at peace so long they've forgotten how to truly innovate. They follow rules and traditions established generations ago." She looked at each officer in turn. "We have 1 month to transform our pile of scrap into something that will shock the entire Galactic Alliance. Let's get to work." The next morning, as the Earth delegation prepared to return to their ship, a slender aide from Admiral Zorth's staff approached Reyes. "Commander," the aide said nervously, "Admiral Zorth instructed me to provide you with the coordinates and protocols for the defensive exercises." Reyes accepted the offered data crystal. "Thank the Admiral for his consideration." The aide hesitated. "He also asked me to remind you that the Alliance will not be responsible for any structural failures your vessel might experience during the exercises. Tell the Admiral not to worry about us," Reyes replied with a thin smile. "We'll be ready." As the aide hurried away, Reyes gazed upward through the massive viewport where ships of all designs moved gracefully through docking procedures. Far above, barely visible against the bright sky, the massive silhouette of Admiral Zorth's flagship, the Indomitable, hung in high orbit. "Laugh while you can," Reyes murmured to herself. "You won't be laughing for long." The Phoenix hung in Earth orbit, its mismatched hull gleaming in the sunlight. Up close, the welds and seams between different sections were clearly visible, telling the story of its hurried construction. Inside the ship's main engineering bay, Hiroshi Takeda lay on his back beneath an open panel, his face illuminated by the glow of quantum circuits. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he carefully adjusted connections that no Alliance engineering manual would ever recommend. "Hand me the phase coupler," he called out, extending his hand without looking. Lieutenant Priya Sharma, his assistant engineer, placed the tool in his waiting palm. "This is insane, Hiroshi. Integrating Arctovian power nodes with our fusion system? It could overload the entire grid." Takeda slid out from under the panel with a grunt, his once white uniform now smeared with various fluids. "That's exactly what an Alliance engineer would say. That's why they'd never try it." He grinned. "And that's why they'll never see it coming." Commander Reyes entered the engineering bay, ducking under a low-hanging conduit. The Phoenix had not been designed with comfort in mind, and at least a quarter of the corridors required tall crew members to stoop. "How's it coming, Hiroshi?" Reyes asked, surveying the components spread across the deck. Takeda wiped his hands on a rag. I've got the hybrid power system functioning, more or less. We can now channel energy between our fusion generators and the Arctovian quantum matrices we salvaged from that derelict transport ship. More or less? Reyes raised an eyebrow. Well, it won't explode. Probably. Takeda smiled. But it gives us something unique. Alliance ships all use standardized power configurations, efficient, stable, and predictable. Ours is none of those things, but it can do something theirs can't. Which is? Reyes prompted. Takeda's eyes lit up with excitement. Phase shifting. We can create energy fluctuations that will make us appear to be in slightly different positions than we actually are. Their targeting computers will get confused. Reyes nodded slowly. How long until it's combat ready? 3 weeks minimum if we work around the clock. You have 2, Reyes said firmly. The exercises start in 30 days and we need time for testing. Takeda sighed. I'll need more help then, and parts. You'll have them. Reyes turned to leave but stopped. Oh, and Hiroshi, make sure it really won't explode. No promises. Commander, Takeda called after her with a wry grin. In the simulation chamber 2 decks above, Sofia Rodriguez sat in a replica of the Phoenix's cockpit, her hands dancing over the controls. On the screen before her, a virtual representation of the ship performed a series of maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. Reyes watched from the doorway as the simulated vessel spun on its axis while maintaining forward momentum, then cut its engines only to reignite them in a pattern that appeared almost random. After a particularly impossible-looking turn, Rodriguez removed her simulator helmet and noticed Reyes. Commander, I didn't see you there. What was that last maneuver? Reyes asked, pointing to the replay on a secondary screen. I've never seen anything like it. Rodriguez's face lit up. I call it the broken wing. It only works because of our asymmetrical design and Hiroshi's variable thruster output. She pointed to different sections of the ship schematic. A conventional vessel would tear itself apart attempting this, but the Phoenix, she's already unconventional, so she can move in ways other ships can't. Will it work in actual combat? Rodriguez nodded confidently. Alliance vessels are all designed with perfect balance and symmetry. Their combat computers predict movement based on those principles. They won't know how to target something that moves like it's malfunctioning, but is actually executing precisely calculated maneuvers. Keep working on it, Reyes said. I want a full set of these unorthodox maneuvers ready for combat drills next week. Yes, sir, Rodriguez replied, already reaching for her helmet to continue practice. Reyes made her way to the science lab, where Marcus Chen stood before a large display showing recordings of Alliance fleet exercises. Chen didn't notice Reyes enter. He was too focused on the movements of the ships on the screen. Found anything useful? Reyes asked. Chen jumped slightly, then adjusted his glasses. Commander, yes, actually. Look at this. He pointed to the formation of ships on the display. The Alliance fleet has been using the same basic tactics for over 300 years. They value tradition and proven methods over innovation. That makes them predictable. Predictable is exploitable, Reyes observed. Exactly, Chen agreed. They follow patterns they don't even realize are patterns. For instance, their ships always approach in these specific formations. He pulled up another display. And when they attack, they follow standard protocols taught at their academy. He tapped a few controls and a simulation began to run showing how the Phoenix might exploit these patterns. If we know what they're going to do before they do it, we can position ourselves to surprise them. Reyes nodded approvingly. Keep analyzing. I want counter tactics for every standard Alliance maneuver. As Reyes left the science lab, her communication device signaled an incoming message. The face of General Harrison, Earth's military liaison to the Galactic Alliance, appeared on the small screen. Commander, we have a situation, Harrison said without preamble. Our intelligence suggests that Admiral Zorth has assigned observers to monitor your preparations. Reyes frowned. Inside the ship. No, but they're watching from orbit. A small Alliance vessel has been stationed just outside Earth's security perimeter. They're scanning your ship. Reyes thought for a moment. Let them watch, General. In fact, I have an idea. The next day, Takeda directed a team to begin work on the outer hull of the Phoenix. They attached what appeared to be additional armor plating and new weapon systems. From a distance, it looked like a significant upgrade. Are those functional weapons? Reyes asked as she and Takeda observed the work from a viewport. Takeda grinned. They're empty shells, but they look impressive, don't they? Our Alliance friends will waste time analyzing weapons that don't exist while we finish the real modifications inside. Reyes clapped Takeda on the shoulder. Good thinking. Later that evening, Reyes called her senior officers to the ship's small briefing room. The walls were bare metal, unlike the elegant meeting chambers of Alliance vessels. We have 25 days left, Reyes began. Our Alliance observers are watching us, thinking they know what we're doing. Let them think that. Meanwhile, I want each of you to push harder. She activated a display showing a classified intelligence report. Our long-range sensors detected unusual activity at the edge of Alliance space. The Galactic Council is dismissing it as instrument error, but I'm not taking chances. The room fell silent as the officers processed this information. Are you saying the exercises might turn real? Rodriguez asked. Reyes's expression grew serious. I'm saying we need to be ready for anything. The Alliance races have been at peace, so long they've forgotten what real danger looks like. We humans haven't had that luxury. She looked at each of her officers in turn. We have 25 days to turn this scrap ship into something that can not only surprise our Alliance critics, but possibly save them as well. Let's get to work. As the meeting concluded, Reyes remained behind, studying the star chart displaying the mysterious readings at the edge of known space. Something was coming. She could feel it in her gut, the way sailors of old could sense an approaching storm. The Phoenix might be a patchwork of salvaged parts, but it was Earth's best hope, and now possibly the Alliance's too, whether they knew it or not.